Hey folks, just want to do a quick video on the markets today, March 3rd, 2022. The war in Ukraine continues. And folks, this war is probably going to continue for a long time. Putin's not stupid. He's going to take over Ukraine. There's nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do is sanctions and send Ukraine weapons. That's it. That's not going to stop a nuclear power giant first world military from taking over Ukraine. Putin's smart. He's going to take over Ukraine. It's probably going to happen, in the next month, but he's slow and methodical. So that's going to happen. So this whole thing's going to be dragging out for like a month. And there's really nothing we can do about it. So people just need to accept it. He wants Ukraine because he doesn't want Ukraine to become a NATO ally. And that's smart because if Ukraine becomes a NATO ally, that means he has to worry about nuclear missiles from NATO right on his border pointed at him and his people in Russia. For Russia, it's definitely good to have Ukraine as part of Russia, or at least pro-Russian. So I get why he's doing it, but of course he's a brutal guy. He's killing a lot of innocent people. He's a piece of crap, but strategically, in 5-10 years, he could look like a genius to the Russian people. Because most Russians want Ukraine, they just don't want war. So he's going the war route, and in a couple years, this might all work out for him. Or it might be a big backfire, and the people get rid of them. But that's how it's going to go. But as far as the markets, folks, like I said in my last video a couple days ago, Bitcoin was probably going to dump pretty soon. It was unsustainable, just keep going up forever. We hit a maximum of about $45,000, and now we're dumping back down to 42. This is kind of what I expected. For me, I picked up a little more Cardano, and I picked up a little more Polymatic, and I picked up some more Theta, and I have stop losses set with a 10% stop loss. It is possible we go back down into the 30s if everything goes crazy in Ukraine. We get some bad news. The stocks dump even more. Regulations get put out against Bitcoin and crypto because all the Russians are buying crypto. So, they might start just banning people from buying crypto in Russia and putting all sorts of regulations. Binance might not let people in Russia buy crypto. If all this happens, you're probably going to see a further dump. But I pretty much expected a top out of about $45,000, and I expected a dump back right now to 42. If we can shoot back up from here, I think we have a good chance of hitting $47,000 to $50,000. And after that, we'll probably dump back down to 45. Like I said, I think we're in a bear market. I'm pretty sure we are. So I'm just kind of riding the wave right now. I don't really plan on selling my bulk of my crypto until 2024, 2023, around the halvening when we're in the next bull market. But, since I follow this every day, I'm just going to do some trades and just kind of, play around with it. But interesting times, folks, for sure. All right, what else is going on in the world? Nancy Pelosi says America funding Putin's war machine. Basically, she wants to stop all oil exports from Russia, which, pretty much all the Republicans want now. It'll probably eventually happen. Unfortunately, that's not going to do anything to stop Putin. He doesn't care because if we stop buying his oil, we're still getting oil from Saudi Arabia. That's where we get most of our oil. All the European countries have to buy oil from Putin. Everything you're seeing in the media right now is just kind of like predictable. It's basically like when my 5-year-old has a temper tantrum. You're not going to win. He's going to take over Ukraine, and that's it. You can put sanctions on him. You can tell him he can't buy Bitcoin. You can stop buying his oil. It doesn't matter what we do. He still will be selling oil to Europe because they have to have his oil. And the end result will just be higher gas prices for everybody. So that's kind of the way I see it. I think probably it's going to just drag out for like another month, and then he's going to take over Ukraine, and everybody's going to hate Putin. And then in 5 years, it'll probably work out for him. Because that's how every time he invades a country, he gets a lot of crap. And then a few years down the line, he gets a lot of praise for it, and his people love him. So that's pretty much what's happening, folks. Like always, buy the dips. And, altcoins are actually holding up pretty well. Bitcoin seems, well, not really. I mean, everything's kind of down, but all the altcoins are holding up relatively well. So we want to see Bitcoin hold around 40. If Bitcoin drops below 41,000, I think there's a pretty good chance we're just going to dump back into the 30s. But, we'll have to just see what happens. I think we might be able to rise back up here, back up to 45, 47, but it really just depends on world events. It's a very freaky time right now. It's hard to predict what's going to happen. But the one thing I know for sure, we're in a bear market. All you can do is buy the dips and trade, and just have your long-term hodl bag and just look to sell that, probably 2024. If it's anything like 2017, 2018, 2019, we're going to be in for a long stretch of just sideways, some pumps, some dumps, some really big dumps, some little pumps, then some really big dumps. I see a bottom for Bitcoin in the 20s, probably like $25,000 will probably be the bottom for Bitcoin. But you never know. So that's why you always have to have Bitcoin. You always have to have some skin in the game. But, all these people saying right now, World War III is coming, World War III is coming, Bitcoin's going to go to zero. Well, if that happens, you're dead anyway. So you might as well just hodl. The minute there's one nuclear missile gets fired, it's World War III and we're all pretty much dead. And who cares? Then at that point, just make sure you have guns, storable food, and ammo, and a place to live. Get yourself a wood-burning stove. Crypto, gold, cash, none of that's going to matter. So worst case scenario, who cares? You're dead and, crypto's worth nothing. But odds are we're not going into World War III. This is going to be just typical. Putin takes over another country. He's wanted to take Ukraine for a long time. It benefits his country in the long run to have Ukraine as part of Russia, or at least pro-Russia. So the way I see it, look at the news cycle. You don't even hear about COVID anymore. You don't hear about the virus anymore because that was so last month. Now it's on the war, and next month it might be something else. So you have to look at the news cycles. Last month, the last year was all the virus, every day, nonstop. Now it's going to be war for the next few months, maybe the next year, and then after that they'll come up with something else. Maybe we'll be back to the virus, or who knows? It could be anything. But just realize it's all about the news cycle, and the market's pump and dump pretty much based off that. But in the end, it really doesn't matter because we know Bitcoin's going to the moon after the next halving, 2024. Just hold, trade, buy the dips. Have a good day.